Sha'Carri Richardson's teammate, defends herself amid star athletics doping allegations. Recent developments in track and field have seen a flurry of accusations on X, formerly Twitter, directed at athletes from the Star Athletics Club, with many of the claims sparked by the provisional suspension of American sprinter Marvin Bracy Williams. The suspension of Bracy Williams, a multiple-time world championship medalist, by the Athletics Integrity Unit AIU, has become a focal point for the online conversation. This incident has reignited long-standing suspicions about doping within the sport, and in particular, about Star Athletics, a high-profile training group known for its fast sprinters, with Twanisha (TT) Terry finding herself in the middle of the accusations. One ex-user commented, "Oh, and by the way, Marvin Bracy been serving a provisional suspension for the last 2 years because he took a pet shot, went and confided in Dennis about it cause he felt like Dennis would understand because of his dealings with PEDs. Dennis turned around and snitched on Marv." Another added, "So Marvin Bracy was Dennis Mitchell's sacrificial lamb? Him snitching on Marvin is nothing more than a distraction or a cover-up for what's really going on at Star Athletics. I saw the impressive times OL Girl be dropping this season, and as good as they are, I still had my doubts just because of who her coach is and his tainted history. I remember in 2021 when Ray exposed Ms. Sha'Carri. I was quick to take a screenshot before it was deleted." Twanisha Terry, speaking after facing accusations of doping, said that while everyone was entitled to their opinions because it was sports, people should not accuse her of using substances. She explained that injuries are a normal part of the sport and stressed that she has many hobbies outside of track. Twanisha Terry added that when her time in athletics comes to an end, she will step away rather than take shortcuts, as she questioned why anyone would think she would use substances to run 10.8 seconds. Everybody is going to have their opinions because it's sports, and that's fine. However, what y'all are not going to do is accuse me of using any type of substance. Injuries and stuff happen in sports," Twanisha Terry said in a post on X, Twitter. "Y'all, it's one thing about ignoring comments, which I can do, but accusing somebody of doping is not cool at all. Shadows on the track, when the clock isn't the only judge. Every athlete knows the track isn't just concrete and lanes. It's a crucible where dreams are tempered and reputations forged." For Twanisha TT Terry, a sprinter defined by precision, progress, and an unassuming resilience, this crucible has become unexpectedly fiery. Part 1. More than just fractions of a second. Terry's ascent isn't the stuff of fairy tales. She didn't burst onto the scene overnight. Instead, she carved her path lap by lap, training tirelessly, forging her mark through consistency. A 2-time World Championships relay champion and a gold medalist in the 4x100 relay at the Paris 2024 Olympics, she stands today as one of the sport's most formidable presences on the world stage. Essentially sports. Her story, built on integrity and increment, has always been her anchor. Part 2, when the whispers begin. But in the world of elite sport, especially sprinting, extraordinary performances can invite extraordinary suspicion, no matter how clean the record may be. Recently, derogatory whispers began circulating, murmurs that athletes producing exceptional marks must be hiding something unsavory. It was into this toxic breeze that TT Terry stepped, not with timid denial, but with resolute defiance. Part 3, a declaration against the rumors. In August 2025, Terry took to her official X, formerly Twitter, account to deliver a powerful call-out. Everybody's going to have their opinions because it's sports, and that's fine. However, what y'all are not going to do is accuse me of using any type of substance. Injuries and stuff happen in sports. Y'all, it's one thing about ignoring comments, which I can do, but accusing somebody of doping is not cool at all. I've competed at all levels in this sport and know what it's like to wait for my time. Been in the testing pool since college and had nothing negative attached to me. Essentially sports. Her frustration was palpable, and justifiably so. She went on. Who would be using a substance to run 10.8? Please find somebody to play with my first-year professional. Essentially sports. It was more than a tweet. It was a challenge to the assumption that speed equates to dishonesty. And with every keystroke, she reaffirmed a truth. Her journey, her performance, is her own. Her integrity is not for debate. Part 4. The weight of allegation. To accuse somebody of doping is to strike at the core of their identity. The sport's very foundation is built on fairness, and a single sliver of doubt can destabilize an entire career. Terry's rebuttal wasn't reactive. It was preemptive protection of her legacy. She reminded the world that she had been transparent, tested, and tested again, since her college days, with no red flags ever raised. Essentially sports. Part 5. Beyond the track. But Terry didn't stop at defending her record. She defended her dignity. She spoke of having so many hobbies/talents outside of track, a life rich with pursuits beyond the stopwatch. It was her quiet assurance that no rumor could unravel the person she is. An athlete, yes, but also a creator, a thinker, a soul with depth. She stated she'd rather walk away than compromise her integrity for performance. Essentially sports. Part 6. Her words in context. It's telling that Terry's protest didn't come riding on sensationalism. There were no grand allegations, no combative headlines. Instead, it was grounded, calm, personal. By holding firm to truth, she didn't just fight back. She invited empathy, understanding, and a call to respect. Part 7. The echo of progress. TT Terry's protest matters bigger than her own career. It highlights the perilous intersection of exceptional performance, public suspicion, and social media rumor mills. In a world where achievement is often shadowed by cynicism, her stance returns the narrative to fairness and transparency. Her story asks us, can we honor the athlete's process? Can we celebrate progress without equating speed with slight? Part 8. A beacon for the future. In defending herself, Terry became more than a sprinter. She became a voice. Not just for her peers, but for any individual whose excellence risks being undermined by assumption. She reminded the athletic world, and beyond, that sometimes it's not the seconds on the clock that define greatness, but the courage to defend one's integrity. Conclusion. When speed meets substance. Twanisha TT Terry's journey is one of quiet grit. She didn't chase attention. She chased improvement. But when whispers of doping threatened to overshadow her progress, she stood her ground with clarity, with facts, and with courage. In doing so, she offered more than a defense. She gave us a lens through which to view sport, not as a theater of suspicion, but as a field of earned honor. And as she continues to sprint into history, her message stands clear. Let her time speak, not gossip,